What is going on, Alpha Hunters? Hope everybody's having a very terrific Thursday. Man, whew, week is flying by. That's all I can say. I totally forgot what day it was. Whew, it is flying by. It also kind of helps when every day is like 1% change or more on the market. Man, we've seen some pretty good movement across the markets this week, and get another one again today. Nice gap up this morning. About another what? How much did we get up? About 1%. Yeah, about 1%. And that comes on the heels of when we were on the live stream yesterday. It's kind of we were talking right. We were talking about pulling it back. It was really good. Talking about on the daily picture made a lot of sense. And we then kind of went and sold down about 2.5%, I guess, from the highs of the morning to the lows, basically at the close yesterday, about 2.5%. If you didn't do it yesterday, you gotta really be looking at today like, yeah, you know what? It's not a bad time to maybe do that because wow, we did roll down pretty brutally yesterday. We did get some economic data, some jobs data that came out this morning. Initial jobless claims 233K. Forecast was calling for 240K, and if you remember last week, we got 250K. Remember, that was a huge number. What's really kind of interesting about the jobs data, I don't really, people don't really care to pay attention to jobs data unless we're going into it seems like we're going into like a recession type vibe, or it seems like we're going into a recession. So we'll see if that does wind up playing out. But we're still like in this uptrend, and the thing that is kind of interesting is typically at the end of the month we do get larger spikes, right? We got one at the end of April. We kind of got one, looks like kind of at the end of May, right there at the beginning of June, and we kind of had a little bit of a spike there at the end of June. What's kind of interesting about that, and I don't know if that's like a normal thing. We got one right there at the end of March, but I would have to imagine a lot of that has to stem with payroll. Going through the end of the month payroll, and you don't want to get obviously into the next payroll period, so you're probably doing layoffs by the end of the month, which whether it's bi-weekly or whatever, but I would imagine there's a lot of companies out there that probably have payroll that go and start at the beginning of a month or whatever. So that probably has a lot to do with it, I'd imagine. But it is kind of a weird anomaly that, I don't track this all the time, but even at here at the end of January, we had a pretty good spike there before we got to the end of January. So yeah, it is kind of an interesting one to see that we do spike at the end of the month. So be curious to see if we spike at the end of the month this month. All right, so let's take a look at what is going on today. So yeah, we did have that gap up, pretty good run, and if you're kind of looking at yesterday's price action, we kind of just came right into this little double top pivot that we put in yesterday morning. Kind of just came right into that neckline. So we ran right to it today. So we'll see if we kind of top out here, maybe roll over. But that is exactly where we ran to today so far. As far as the Qs go, Qs kind of did the same thing, kind of a little double top yesterday, neckline. That's where we ran to. Qs had a little bit more of a gap up, and are up pretty good today, up 2.4%. They did gap up about 1.4%. So yeah, they've traded pretty well intraday. A little bit more of a stronger pullback here in the first 20 minutes, but they've ran pretty hard since then. IWM's up 1.8%, looking pretty good. Nice gap up there. DIA, nice little gap up. Nice run here on the DIA throughout the day. Got bought up initially on the open, up 1.4%. RSP up 1.5%. A little bit of a gap up there. So yeah, everything's kind of getting bought up, looking pretty good there. Looks like maybe we're starting to see some consolidation at these levels on some of these ETFs. I think maybe like another day or two we'll really kind of be able to figure that one out. So um, yeah, RSP. Yeah, not looking any one way or another right now. Um, Still waiting on some of these shorter term moving averages like the 10, the 20 to kind of come down, on the RSP and the DIA. So we'll see how that interaction kind of happens here over the next probably like day or two, maybe early next week. IWM trying to bounce today. Yeah, that sell down yesterday. A lot of these ETFs looks kind of wickedly bad. But we did have a pretty good gap up today. We did have a pretty good gap up with that jobs data. So we'll see if we continue just to kind of bounce around here a little bit. If we push higher here the next couple of days, I'd imagine we do get a little bit more of a pullback. So if you're kind of de-risking yesterday, you probably get an opportunity to get back in. Let the market have its volatile moments. Don't make irrational decisions, that kind of stuff. Other than that, SPY looking all right. It is getting back into that area though. It's been having a hard time. I mean, we were rejected out of this area, Tuesday, obviously yesterday, Wednesday. So we'll see what happens again today as we are getting into that resistance kind of area there on the SPY and the Qs. All right, we'll see how it goes. VIX dropping off today. It was, for the most part, was dropping off yesterday, but wound up climbing by the end of the day, obviously with the sell down that we had for pretty much the rest of the day. Okay. Dixie bouncing kind of hard. We got the jobs data. Yeah, we got the jobs data bounce kind of hard, and now it's rolling over. And really, that could have just been a quick retest. Didn't quite make it to this low, but it came right into that 10 daily EMA. Get right off of that sucker and has come down. See how that thing ends on the day. Gold, the GLD, the gold trust. Yep. I mean, it keeps pushing higher and consolidating, pushing higher and consolidating. I mean, it just any kind of pullback, man. Just keep being bullish on it. Yields continuing to climb. Interesting. Okay. So obviously they're hitting into that 4% level on yields. Obviously we wicked above the 4% level. We've come back down a little bit. What was that recently? Yeah, that was real recently. Okay, so see what yields do by the end of the day. But if they start to get it back above that 4%, that would be kind of cause for concern for yields. Everybody's saying that yields are going to keep dropping. 10-2 inversion. It climbed yesterday. I mean, we're getting really close to getting to holding back over the zero line here. I mean, we're getting really close. HYG, high yield corporate bonds, not really doing a whole lot today. Okay. High yield corporate bonds not really doing a whole lot. LQD has pulled back pretty good into some previous highs over the past several months, and the 20 EMA. So maybe we do find a bounce spot. Obviously, it's trying to bounce here, but I mean that's not really like a very strong, a lot of volume or anything like that kind of coming in. Just kind of hanging out more than anything else. So it doesn't really stoke a lot of confidence in my opinion. And man, yeah, this just looks so bad. Like how quickly we went up and quickly we've come back down. Not saying it doesn't retest and it just slowly push higher, but this is always the real problem with these hugely aggressive moves, is that once they stop and you get the aggressive move the opposite direction, you start to pick up steam and you get that momentum change. And it could eventually just retest and keep going with the previous direction, but I mean, sometimes that momentum change just kind of comes down. You try to bounce around a little bit, then it just continues to keep dropping or keep reversing. Yeah, a lot of things are in very interesting spots right now, and I think I think it's gonna be a good time to just wait right now, wait and see how things kind of move here soon. All right, as far as sector rotation on the day, yep, tech, XLK leading the day. Nice gap up there on tech. Quick pullback, first 20 minutes. Yep, we saw all that. Tech leading the day. See if it rolls over here. Looks like it's trying to roll over here over the past like 20 minutes or so. We'll see if that happens. Industrials, healthcare, discretionaries, energies all slightly outperforming there. Financials, materials, communications, underperforming. Staples, real estate, and utilities all kind of out down at the lower end of the day. If we take out the gap, let's see how things look. So if we take out the gap, you can see tech got hit pretty hard there in the first 20 minutes. Yeah, we did notice that when we looked at the Qs. Tech got hit pretty good, but they bounced back pretty sharply. So we'll see what happens with tech by the end of the day. And healthcare also underperforming there intraday. Yeah, tech, materials, communications. Geez, things are moving. Financials and discretionaries all in line with the market there. Industrials, utilities outperforming. Staples outperforming. Energies, intraday best performer. There you go. And I think they actually had a gap down because I think they were at the lower end. They were kind of in line with the market. Okay. What was real estate and utilities are kind of at the lower end of the day. So utilities have actually been getting bought up. I just had a little gap down. As far as the way the heat map looks, a lot of green out there. A lot of green out there. What is the red over here? MCK. Okay. And Monster. Wow, Monster.